And we are live. Hello, carnivores, and welcome to session number 22. This week's topic is business. Coach Mark is about to teach Nate and I what it takes to become a successful full-time online coach. Nathaniel Gates is a natural bodybuilder, soon to earn his WNBF pro card, 7 weeks out from the Granite State Open in Seabrick, New Hampshire. Not to be confused with Keto Brick. This is Seabrick, New Hampshire. United States, competing on a strict lion diet. He is also a contest prep coach himself. You can follow him on Instagram at carnivorous_Nate. Coach Mark is 8 weeks out from the NPC Northwest Natural in Seattle, Washington, United States. Working with Mark this last year has impacted much more than how I eat and how I train. He's become an inspiring role model and mentor to me in the areas of fatherhood, marriage, and business. It's one thing to master your body's needs through nutrition and exercise. It's quite another to make a living teaching others how to do the same. My personal mission is to make as great of an impact on my own athletes as Mark has with his clients. After we discuss business, we'll go into Nate's and Mark's meal plans and training splits, checking in as a team, keeping our eyes on the prize. Sorry about my cough too, by the way. If I'm coughing, just getting over a little bit of a head cold. All right. Before we jump in, our podcast review of the week is from Freddie Preston from the UK. Wonderful. That's it. It was just one word. Wonderful. That was in response to session number 20, which was our back day special. Hey, Freddie, that's very sweet of you. Thank you so much. That probably took you like 3 seconds to type that out. And that's the kind of stuff that makes our episodes pop up higher rather than lower on our listeners' feeds so that our message gets heard. So thank you for your kind words, or your word rather, and for helping us to continue to grow this channel organically, making this the #1 nutrition podcast on Spotify. Coach Mark, I'm going to turn things over to you, pal. What made you decide to become a full-time online coach?
Okay, so just to put it simply, I just wanted to help as many people as possible. I saw a market in what I do. I seen pretty much a lot of people going into the gym and they were doing their own thing and they were getting looked after by PTs and stuff like that. But I saw an awful lot of people in the health industry that were suffering with different health conditions. Can you see me?
Yep, I can see you.
Yeah, so I saw a niche in the market. I saw a lot of people suffering with health conditions, and I saw them getting pushed to the sides. And for years and years and years, I was in the fitness industry as a personal trainer. But I always felt that I was better off being a coach. I got better results when I was actually talking to people, and that's pretty much where I started. And what I did was I started taking people on for free. At the very, very beginning, I took family on, I took friends on, and it kind of blew up. I got people in really, really good condition, and people were asking me like, how much do you charge? Can you take me on? And it just got out of control. Literally got out of control. And I never even thought about going into online coaching at all, because I know when you look at online coaching now, there's so many courses out there to do online courses. But I never did one. I never did one online course ever. I just got into it pretty much maybe by accident. But I haven't looked back since. It's just been amazing. It's amazing how you can sit at home. You can do probably about 95% of the work that you're meant to do on your laptop, on your phone. And that's it. It's just been an incredible. I've been doing the online coaching now this will be my 6th year. And to this day, it's still grown very, very big, which I'm grateful for.
Absolutely. How do you have such a massive client base with such a small social media presence?
Yeah, so when you look at my social media, you can see there's probably around, I'd say about 850 people on my Instagram. But what you don't know is I have worked with probably about 95% of those people. So I would say to date, I've worked with probably around 700, maybe 750 people. They're not all the people that you see on my Instagram. They're not like people that randomly just come onto my page. I have worked with a lot of people on my page, and a lot of them have stayed with me over the years.
And they're not,
so that's the reason why I keep.
and they're not fake either. You compare that to a trainer. I put in quotations, and I
Yeah.
use that term loosely. You look at it. You look at a trainer who has thousands and thousands of followers. Okay, their posts. Look at the post. That's how you can tell if it's organic or not. If they're getting 1 or 2 comments per post and they have 30,000 followers, it's fake. They bought those followers.
Exactly.
Have you ever bought followers?
Never.
No.
To this day, I have never asked anybody for coaching. Never. I've never asked one client, would you like coaching? Would you like to come on board with me? All that kind of stuff. I've never done it once, ever.
So you have a very high conversion rate then.
Very, very high. Yeah, I would say.
Do you think that's attributed to like the kind of message that you push in general? Because I mean, I noticed like your overall page is just a very positive, but also no BS page. I suspect that's probably why. Would you agree?
Yeah, 100%. Because like, I don't need to do the talking on my pages. I don't need to do talking. If someone says to me like, can you show me before and after? Can you show me some proof? All I have to do is get onto that client, say, would you mind if I use your picture? This person is asking, can they speak with you? And that's it, nailed. And then once that happens, within 2 days, these people are getting on to me and saying, okay, I've done the research on you. I've seen what you can do. Can you take me on? And that's it. I say, like, I had 2 calls this morning, and in the past, it would have took me nearly 45 minutes to close these sales. I'm closing my sales now within 10 minutes.
Wow.
Because people already know your story. They've either heard you on the podcast enough, or they've heard a recommendation for you with someone else, and so the question when they come to you at that point is just, how much is it and when do we get started?
Exactly. Yeah. It's just about planting the seeds and just saying, listen, okay, you've seen what I can do. And the good thing about it is I'm attracting the people that I want to attract. I'm attracting people that have done it all, that have been to the doctors, they're struggling with their weight, they're struggling with their health conditions. These people are my particular niche. These are the people that I want to work with. I don't want to work with the average Joe that goes into the gym, that has a massive ego, because I just know we won't get on. And I've let go so many people in the past. I've known within a week or two it's just not going to work. And I've just said to them, like, listen, I'm not the right coach for you. I've given them their refund back. I've said, listen, there's no hard feelings, but I just feel me and you won't work. And I've always been right. I've always been most of the time right. I just like taking people on there. I know we're going to have a good relationship, and we're going to be in communication for more than, say, 6 months to a year. Because as I said, most of the clients that I have now, we still talk. And the way I see it, I see my online coaching business as a big, like, massive family. We talk every day. People talk to me, even though they're in amazing shape. They still reach out to me. They still need that accountability. They still need to have that voice in their ears saying, like, listen, am I doing things right? Am I doing things wrong? And I have no problem with that. No problem with that at all. I think the biggest thing in the industry where people are going wrong is they're chasing money. I think a lot of people are just chasing money. I do this because I love doing this. When I started off, I hadn't got a penny. I was coaching for about 3 or 4 months, and I never made a penny, not one penny. And I did it because I loved it. I love speaking on the camera. I love doing content. And I never seen a reason why I would get paid for it. Because at the time I had a good job. I was a manager in a fitness club at the time, and I was doing quite well. I was doing financially okay. So I never saw myself as a coach, as I mentioned at the beginning. But as I said, I got people amazing results. People were listening to me every day. My following was getting really, really big. Everybody was asking me questions. And I got so busy. I was like, okay, I can actually do this full time. So why do I need to work 40 hours a week when this could be my full-time job, and I could be earning quite a really good living out of it?
That's incredible. Going back to what you said about not chasing money, I feel like if you're online coaching and you're chasing money, you are absolutely in the wrong business. That is a horrible outlook to have in this industry. This is a people business. If you want to make money, real estate. mortgage banking. I mean, there's a lot better ways to make money than being an online coach, but being an online coach is rewarding.
Mm-hmm. And that's one thing I've seen in the past from people that I've taken on. I've always asked the question, like, why me? Why did you pick me? And they'll always say to me, well, I've done coaching in the past. And I'm saying to them, okay, what went wrong? And there's been many things that get back to me. Like, first of all, they could be waiting 2 or 3 days for a reply. The money issue is very, very high. They're overtraining, their nutrition is rubbish, they're still gaining weight. There's been so many areas you look at it and you're like, my God, like, you're spending so much money on this rubbish and you still look the same a year later. That can be extremely frustrating. I can't imagine how frustrating that is. And when I hear people saying to me, listen, I'm struggling, I need that accountability, I need someone to take that worry away from me. And I'm asking them, okay, did you reach out to this client or did you reach out to this coach? And they're like, yes. And they're like, but I didn't get a reply back until about 3 days later. It's like, wow. Like, I can guarantee you, like, if you spoke to any one of my clients, any one of them, and I've got a lot of clients, they will tell you they'll get a reply back within 15 minutes to a half an hour, no longer than that. Guaranteed. No matter what time of the day is, no matter how busy I am, I always make sure the priority is the client. And no matter what question I get, whether it's a good one, whether it's a bad one, no matter what question it is, because the way I see it is there's no such thing as a bad question. I'll be there. I want to take all the worry away from my clients every single day. And I think that's what a good coach should be. A coach Absolutely. Is not, in my opinion, a coach is not where you send on a client like these apps and programs. To me, I see myself more as a therapist because I love having those chats. I love having those talks with my clients every week. I like to keep them accountable. I like to get them targets. I like to get them goals. I like to get them achievements, what they can do. I like to give them that belief. I think that's the most important part. I like to give them that belief that you can do this. Just give it time. Just talk to me on a regular basis and I'll get you over the line.
Is that what you expected going into it? Like, did you have a different outlook on it? And then when you got into coaching a lot of people, was it a lot different than what you thought, like that whole psychological side of things?
Yeah, 100%, Nate, because that's where I seen the weakness. I seen so much weakness in the industry now that people just were just given a plan. They were just given these like €20, €30 plans, and that was it. Then they were just left to the side, left to raw. And I was like, hang on a second, like, are you not even going to speak to these people? Are you not even going to write back to these people? Are you not actually going to pick up the phone one of the days and just say, listen, Mary, how's things? How's everything going? Are you okay? All that kind of stuff. And people love that.
Yeah.
And when I'm doing a check-in with a person, let's say if I'm reaching out to somebody, most of the time it's always a video. I hate texting. I'd rather like, let's say I was your coach, Nate, and you came with me with a problem. I'm going to make sure that every single week you're going to be held accountable. You're not going to have, let's put it this way, if you're coming back to me and you're not talking to me on a week-to-week basis, then I know something is wrong. So I'm going to reach out to you. I'm going to reach out to you and say, Nate, how's everything going? Are you struggling with anything? I'm going to ask the hard questions, and you're the one that's going to answer me back, because that's where I feel people are struggling. They're afraid to reach out. And when they do reach out, they feel, what's the word? They might feel shy. They might feel
worried. They're gonna feel judged, or like they're gonna be in trouble. Is what I hear. And then when they do tell me, look, I had 2 bad days where I ate a whole bunch of carbs and I was at a party and I just completely lost control. And I'm like, they're like, I'm sorry. I know that I felt. I'm like, what? You don't need to tell me you're sorry. Like, thank you for telling me that. That takes courage for you to tell me that.
100%.
And I think a lot of people too, they need to be eased into a new lifestyle. They can't just be shoved into it too. They need to have time to adjust and have time to get used to it as well.
Yeah, 100%. Like, if you're taking on somebody that's been through it all, that's been through the mill, and they're like, you know what, I've tried everything. I've tried every diet. I've tried every PT. I've tried every gym. And I'm like, yeah, you've tried all of that, but you haven't tried me yet. And then they'll ask the question, well, what makes you different to everybody else? And I'll say to them, listen, I'm going to be talking to you every single day. Every single day I'm going to be talking to you. And this is where they'll start crying. They'll be like, oh, I really, really need this in my life. I really need to have somebody in my life. I thought it was just all about coaching. The coach will tell me to go to the gym. The coach will tell me what to eat, but he doesn't understand what I'm going through. That's what separates me to everybody else.
These video chats that we've been going back and forth for quite some time. I think we've been talking on video every single day, Mark, correct me if I'm wrong, for close to a year now. And there's so much that gets lost in verbal only communication, which, to your point, is why I'm not a fan of text messages at all. I'll get back to my video messages way quicker on our video chat app than I will with text messages, because I try to spend most of my time there. I can see how somebody's doing. There's a difference between somebody shooting you a text message and saying, hey, I'm doing great, and then seeing the amount of stress in their eyes on video and saying, yeah, I'm doing great. And I'm like, no, you're not doing great. What's going on? You know, you look like you're dealing with something really rough. Tell me what's going on in your life. What's on paper? Great. It works as long as people do it. The workouts work if you go to the gym. The diet works better than any other diet. But to be able to adhere to it and see it through to the end, you got to have your life in check. And if you're going through a divorce, or if you're going through like financial issues, or if you're going through something stressful, like in your work situation, that's something that we've had with clients. It's like, okay, I don't think that we need to focus on our nutrition and on how to do these workouts so much. I mean, you're crushing it when you do go to the gym, but let's work on boundaries in the workplace. Your boss is talking to you like that, and your coworkers are talking to you like that. I mean, your cortisol's through the roof. You're not getting good sleep either. You're not gonna see any results if you keep this up. So let's forget about the workout and the diet. That'll take care of itself. Let's focus on this right now.
100%. Yeah, no, that I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. I mean, I only had this conversation with a woman there last week. She's in the family. And I took her on last week, and I said to her, listen, you're doing too much. You're doing too much training. You're focusing too much on calories. What we're going to do is going to push all that to the side. And all I want you to do for me every day is just walk. That's it. And I only spoke to her today. She's eating fantastic. She's walking every day, and she feels within 3 days. I think I only took her. Yeah, I sent her our plan there 3 or 4 days ago, and she's absolutely flying. Absolutely flying. And it's amazing. It's amazing how you take all this stress away from somebody.
Wow.
And you look at it and you're saying, like, you didn't actually need all of this. And like you said, Cole, it's about finding out where the weaknesses are and trying to make them as easy as possible. Because when we look at a person's lifestyle, we could have a person that works 12 hours a day and does not have time to go to the gym, hasn't got time to go to the gym. And they're gonna be like, oh my God, like if I don't go to the gym, I can't get in shape. That's when I'll come in and say, listen, hang on a second, you can get in shape, because most of what you need to do, okay, is just eat properly. And then you need to just focus on your needs. If you focus on your needs, like even if you're driving a bus, you're still burning energy. So people need to understand this. And I don't think a lot of people do. That no matter what you have in your life, no matter what's going on, and even if you have, like I have an issue at the moment with a loved one at the moment. She's going through a bad time. I could easily say, you know what, people are going through a bad time. I'm stressed up to here. I've got my work. I'm very, very stressed. I'm just going to eat shit. Now, I could do that, but that's going to have an effect on my job. It's going to have an effect on my family. It's going to have an effect on me. So why would I do that? So if anything, I have the strength to still control what I put in my body, even though I can't do anything else. Like this day, like in the last week or two, I've been trying to maintain my gym, which I have. It hasn't been the same as other weeks, but I'm still maintaining what I'm doing. I'm going into the gym. I think I spoke to Colt about this yesterday. Like my workouts now, because I have such demanding workloads, and I've got someone in hospital at the moment going through cancer, I got to say, right, okay, how can I adjust my life to fit it all in? So my workouts now are only literally a half an hour, but it makes me feel good. That's all I need. That's all the stimulus I need. And then I just control everything else. I control the food that goes into my body. And it's
And
very, very important that I address that to a client.
So you're doing 6 working sets per workout, right? With about 5 minutes of rest between sets. So 6 times 5, there we go. That's your 30-minute workout, huh?
Yeah. So yesterday, I was in the gym yesterday. I was finished in 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm. Losing any muscle doing that?
Not at all.
Very counterintuitive. You'd be proud of my workout today. It was 50 minutes and it was 18 working sets. Not quite as low as you, but it's a big improvement from where it used to be. And I learned that from you.
But that's what I'm saying, Colt. When we spoke at the very, very beginning, I didn't know anything about you. But I could see, and I've mentioned this to you a few times, I could see the stress in your face, and I knew you were overtraining. And I said this to you on a few occasions. You didn't actually say it to me. I just said it to you. And as I said, I knew nothing about you. And I knew you would struggle to see my point of view. But the more I spoke to you about it, and the more I gave you that reassurance and gave you that confidence, and just basically looked after you and just said, listen, just trust me on what I say. Slowly but surely, even though doing your own research and doing your own training, you slowly seeing the benefits of going into lower volume training. It has improved your life dramatically. Your stress levels have gone down. You're stronger. You're mentally stronger. You're physically stronger. You look, your family life is better. Your work life is better. You know what I mean? It's just overall, it's been a massive amount. And if I can do that with a coach that has an amazing experience in the bodybuilding industry, I can do that with anybody. And I have done that with everybody. And that's what I like doing. I like to take somebody on and prove them wrong, to say, listen, you can actually do this. Trust me. Just give me a few months and I'll show you. But I will actually be there for you. I'll hold your hand. I'll put my arm around you. I'll say, listen, we're going to do this together. That's a big thing that I do. I care for my clients. Every single one of them. They will tell you that I care, every single one. And I talk to them. I talk to a lot of people every day. And that's what I love doing. I love having my check-ins are my favorite part of the day. Like I'll sit here for say maybe 5 or 6 hours talking to people, but I love it. I absolutely love it. I love listening to people's problems. I love helping people get over that line. It's just an amazing feeling. And it's amazing how I can actually sit in my home on a computer, on a phone, and change people's lives. It's just incredible. Amazing.
I think that's the main difference between being a coach and being a trainer.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, definitely.
Douglas Wright just commented off our YouTube live. What's up, coach? Clean eating, clean power. Thanks, Doug.
Let's go. Yeah. I wanted to add too, like, since I lowered my volume with you guys coming to you all, I feel so much better. Like everything. My training sessions are better. I feel better. My stress levels are lower. It's noticeable. It really is.
What went through your head when you saw your workout plan when you first started your prep and you were like, wait, this is all I'm doing? Like, I'm going to be done in a half hour. Like, what the heck am I going to do for the next
if I'm by myself? If I'm by myself, it's like maybe 45 minutes, like tops. You know Mario now, but me and Mario, my workout partner, I mean, even the two of us will be done in 50 minutes together. I mean, we don't mess around. We get in, we get our work in, we don't sit there and talk. But yeah, it's awesome. And I'm still getting, like, I feel I'm getting a bigger bang for my buck this way. I was definitely training myself into the ground.
Have you lost any strength?
No, heck no.
Amazing, isn't it?
No, I feel great, honestly. Every time I go into the motivation to train is that much higher too. Like, and I have that much more in reserve. I feel great, honestly. It's bizarre because I'm in a prep and I feel better.
And you know what, Nate? When I hear you saying that, that's what I get off every single one of my clients. They'll get back to me and say, I feel great. I feel fantastic. I thought I needed to be in the gym for an hour and a half. I thought I needed to do cardio. I thought I need to do this. And I'm saying, yeah, you thought, because a lot of people have been educating you rubbishly. And they're getting back to me and saying, my God, I'm lifting weights that I never thought I'd lift in my life. And they feel amazing. They feel great. And it's like, okay, why stop now? Just keep doing it. And that's why I have maintained people working with me for such a long time, because they trust me. They've seen what I can do at the beginning and what I'm going to do at the very, very end. Because at the end, like you guys know, when we look at fitness and we look at improving, it's a long-term thing. It's just there should be a never time limit on your body, on your health. You should be doing it for the rest of your life. And that's how I've maintained, because I've told people from the beginning, I drew up the plan. Okay, this is what we're going to do for the first 2 months. Second, then the next 4 months, the 4 months after, the 4 months after. So they have a plan before they even set everything up. I've told them the plan from day one up to say 6 months, so they know exactly what they're doing. Most people just take on a client and work day by day by day. I have given you the blueprint for 6 months to a year, 2 years, 3 years. And then once they get that confidence, they're like, okay, Mark, I feel great. I never thought I'd see myself in a bikini. I might want to do something else now. And I'm like, okay, this is amazing. What else do you want to do? And they're like, maybe I want to do a competition. Maybe I want to do a strength competition. Maybe I want to go on a stage. Maybe I want to do whatever. And I'm like, this is amazing. You didn't tell me this at the very, very beginning. I've had people turn around and say at the very, very beginning, don't put my pictures up on social media. And that's fine. I've never done that. I've never done that unless I've got the client's permission. But I'd say after 2 months, when they start seeing the results, they're like, holy shit. They're absolutely mesmerized. And they're like, Mark, you can put my pictures up on social media. Now, think about that for a second.
That was Taylor, by the way. She's one of those testimonials. And I mean, she's not like one of your clients per se, but we've been obviously all, doing her diet together. And she can say the same thing. She was ashamed of her before pictures when she started. And then and now it's like she can't stop sharing them. She's so happy with how far she's come, and she's feeling better too. She was just doing what a lot of us do, which is way too much. The joke from where I used to live 2 months ago, the gym that I used to go to, there were a couple other bodybuilders there, and the joke was always, "How you doing? Tired and hungry. How you doing? Tired and hungry," because they were always on prep, and that's always what they would say. And that's how I felt on my last prep too. But not when I cut down for the open natural. When I cut down for the open natural to guest pose, not to compete. So granted, I was 5 pounds, 10 pounds away from stage weight, but I was in respectable conditioning and not hungry at all. Still right now, not hungry, doing no cardio, absolutely none. And I was doing an hour and a half a day to get down to as shredded as I was this time last year. That's no way to live your life. Like, that's not worth it.
It's also probably not healthy.
No, not at all. Not one bit.
Yeah, and the amount of stress you're putting on your body as well. And when you're stressed, that's when you hold water.
Yep.
That's a lot of water. And that's when I see it. When I spoke to Colt at first, I was like, I could see it. I could see it in his eyes. I could see it in his arms. I could see it in his body. I was like, listen, I just said, listen, I'll say it to him. But I knew at the beginning, he probably was like, no, I need to do this. Because he probably had this he was probably brainwashed into this situation. Okay, in order to get myself shredded, I need to do cardio. I need to do the extra. I need to do the extra exercise. I need to do the extra weight training. But you're just putting too much stress on your body. And when you put stress on your body, that's going to have an effect on your family. That's going to have an effect on your job, and that's going to lead to more stress. Then you're going to get injuries. It's just going to lead to so many bad things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually find that some of the people I've worked with, they almost have like an addiction to, like, you give them a program and they want to just add stuff to it because they're like, oh, I need more, I need to do this and that. And I'm like, no, you don't need to do that. Yeah. You just gotta take a step back and let your body do its thing.
I think the problem is a lot of people just don't know how to train. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. People just go into the gym, they'll do a set, look at their phone, do a set, look at their phone, and they're in there an hour and a half. And then you'll see people do like 6 sets to failure on a bench press. And I'm there scratching my head.
Why you could have walked away after the first 2 sets and got just as much mTOR activation, bro.
Because you can see, I've seen people in the gym, they're doing 6 sets in an exercise. And you can see they've done perfect form on the first one. And they probably got about 12 reps. But then they go back, they do the same weight. And they didn't get 12 reps. They got about 8 reps. So what's the point in doing a second, a third, a fourth set when your reps are decreasing? It just doesn't make any sense. And people are saying, but I need to do more volume. I need to do more volume. This is what the guy does on social media. But people just don't understand that these people are different to you, and you're probably a beginner. You need to start from the bottom. Everybody has to start somewhere.
If someone's doing that kind of volume too, they're probably on gear. There's not a lot of natural athletes that can do that and recover very quickly.
Yeah, I was about to make that point.
Right. If you've got something that's going to speed up your recovery, you can train for 4, 5, 6 hours in the gym, and you'll still grow.
Then the sky's the limit. Go ahead. Who cares?
Yeah. Well, at that point, you're going to recover from it because you have the assistance.
Yeah.
But as a natural, no, you're not. Your nervous system's going to get destroyed. You're not going to recover.
That's why we need to find ways of speeding up your recovery a lot quicker. And I believe, and I've always believed, that if you stick to low volume training, your testosterone, your growth hormone, all of that is going to improve. Your hormones are going to improve. You're going to get way stronger, because that's what we need. That's what we should always be focusing on. Progressive overload, getting stronger in the gym. If you're getting stronger in the gym, your body's changing. When your body's changing, your metabolism's speeding up. When your metabolism speeds up, you're able to eat more food, because your body's telling you, listen, I'm doing all this work, I'm improving better. What are you going to do about it? And that's when you need to say, right, I need to eat more food. If you don't know what you're doing, then that's when you need to hire a coach.
Yep. And the volume, extra volume, I'd say that's probably the reason why you see that, higher testosterone and things like that, is because that higher volume is adding to your cortisol. It's adding to your stress overall. And that's going to be what decreases testosterone, damages hormones, etc. And that's what a lot of people deal with, and they don't even realize it. And then when you pair that with a proper human diet, you're getting the best of both worlds.
Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I think that I think that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that uninformed trainers and uneducated trainers, inexperienced trainers have in a lot of ways are partially to blame for the reason that people overtrain in the gym, do excessive cardio, and starve themselves. That's how you get fast results.
Oh yeah, 100%.
That's how you lose weight. That's not how you lose fat. That's how you lose weight. You're losing a combination of muscle, glycogen. You're losing a combination of muscle, glycogen, and fat, and you see your results very, very quickly. What you don't see is what's happening to your hormones. What you don't see is the fact that to be able to maintain that, you're going to have to keep up everything that you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to put that weight right back on, which is why I hate it when people say, oh, you know what I don't like about carnivore and keto is that as soon as you start eating carbs again, you gain that weight back. Yeah, it's because you weren't supposed to be eating carbs in the first place. And you finally got healthy, and then you're going back to an old habit. I don't know what the proverb is off the top of my head, but there's one in the book of Proverbs that speaks about a dog going back and eating its own vomit. That's basically what you're doing. Like you're just going back and causing the same problem again. Compare that to letting your diet do the work, not overtraining in the gym, doing as much as what you need that actually makes sense from a hypertrophy standpoint. The goal isn't to be in the gym for 2 hours and benching more than anybody else. If that's your goal, then great. I mean, I'm not gonna, you define your quality of life. I'm not going to, but for me, what's most important right now, man, I got responsibilities outside of the gym. I can't be in there for 5+ hours a week. My workouts now are 50 minutes to an hour at the absolute max, 4 or 5 times a week. And cardio is 1 long distance run per week. That is it. Nothing else on top. I don't have time for anything else other than that. And then compare that to getting faster results. When you think you're getting faster results and you see that scale going down, don't get too excited, because lower numbers aren't better, especially in bodybuilding. This isn't a weight loss contest. This is bodybuilding. The goal isn't to come in shredded. The goal is to come in shredded and full. How do you do that? Well, doing excessive cardio makes no sense. It wrecks your gains. You know who's doing a lot of cardio is guys that are on gear, because they can get away with it. You can do, because you have the nutrient partitioning benefits of the drugs. So you can be on the stair mill for hours. You can be doing all the cardio in the world and maintain a lot of the muscle that a natural athlete would otherwise lose. So on a natural bodybuilder's contest prep, or on a natural bodybuilder's just weight loss journey that isn't going to step on stage. When I use the term bodybuilder right now, I'm referring to somebody that just wants to optimize their body composition. Long term, doing excessive cardio and starving yourself and overtraining in the gym is absolutely the worst thing you could horribly do for the way that you look. You'll see very temporary results, and these trainers know that, and so they know that that's what people are looking for, because most people don't know any better when they're looking for a coach, and they're expecting someone to tell them to eat less, to train more, and to train hard, and to push them through it and to white knuckle it. There's a time and a place for that. There's a time where you got to white knuckle it. There's a time where you got to be tough. But long term in this sport, we need to keep our health first. If your health is first, then I think that's why you get so many people coming back to you, Mark, is because they know that you care about them as a person. I mean, the video chats that you and I have been having back and forth over the last year, there's times where you call me out and you're like, dude, are you doing okay? You just seem stressed. And like, we weren't even talking about anything outside of working out. We just got done talking about workout, but like, I might have just got in an argument with Taylor or something an hour ago. And you could see that. You're like, you got stress within the home, huh? And I'm like, yeah, I do. and then you're like, all right, here's how I'd recommend you sort it out. And then Taylor and I go back and sort it out. and they were good as new. But yeah,
and
I agree with you.
You know what's one of my biggest frustrations? One of my biggest frustrations is when I see someone that's overweight and they go into the gym and you can clearly see that they can't exercise. You can clearly see it. You can clearly see that they're in pain. If they do any running, they're in pain. But you can see their PT screaming at them, come on, slam the ball to the ground, do your running. I'm like, Jesus, this is terrible. This is terrible coaching. Really, really bad. Like, why don't you not just eat properly first? Get these people to feel good first. Get the energy. Get rid of all the inflammation first. Then they'll come into the gym. But when I see people saying like, listen, you're overweight, come and see me. I'll charge you €600 for 10 PT lessons. I'm like, holy shit, no, stop. And unfortunately, that's how the industry is now. I mean, in my gym now, there's 5 PTs, and what they charge for a PT lesson is just absolutely disgraceful. And I have seen people go into the gym where you can clearly see that they cannot exercise. You can clearly see it, and you can see the pain they're in. Okay, you can see it, and all they're focusing on, like you said, Colt, is they're focusing on the bleeding scales. And we know as coaches, there's a big, massive difference between body weight and body composition. And I don't think PTs in this, I'm not saying all of them. I'm not saying every PT is the same. I'm saying there are PTs that haven't got a clue. Yeah. And when you push them to the side and saying, like, do you mind me asking why you did that? It's like, well, she's overweight. I need to help her lose weight. I'm like, yeah, but did you not talk to her about nutrition? And I'm like, they're like, yeah, but I'm not qualified in nutrition. I'm like, you don't need to be qualified in nutrition to just get them to eat healthy. I mean, you don't need to be, there's nothing wrong with having, the way I see it is, if you can start somebody off on just eating like the right carbohydrates, the right proteins, the right fats, it's a start. Then you get to know their body. You understand their body. If they're still inflamed, then you might need to remove the carbohydrate. But you have to educate them. I've never been a fan of going cold turkey on a plan. Never. I've always been I've always been a believer that you phase it out slowly, because you have to understand the client doesn't understand your methods on nutrition. So as carnivore coaches, we know, this is the right way to eat. But if you're taking on a client and saying, listen, you need to go carnivore, they're going to look at you and say, listen, I'm not going to eat meat for the rest of my life. But if the longer you work with them and you gradually build them up, they will understand the reasons why you want them to eat meat or keep or whatever, and they will follow your leads. Because a lot of clients that I have now, they will tell you, if I had mentioned to them at the very, very beginning, right, you're going carnivore, do you think they would have signed up with me?
No.
Not a hope. Not a hope. You know what I mean? And this is the reason why I don't have carnivore on my Instagram page, is because I want to take people on. I want to take people on that are going through all the bullshit at the moment and educate them the right way. Whereas if I put carnivore on my Instagram page, I'm only going to attract carnivore people. I want to attract people that are struggling, that have been fed all the bullshit in the industry. And I want to bring them my way, because I know my way is going to get you over the line. And I want to make sure that whoever I take on is going to be the last coach to ever work with ever again.
That's so well said. I'm
Can
going to
I
read
make
this
a point
comment
real quick to what you were saying about the scale. Yeah, some of the clients I've had that are that have seen the best results, their weight did not change in the first couple of months, but their body fat went down and their muscle went up. They didn't see a single change on a scale. If anything, they might have gained a little bit of weight, but their body composition drastically changed. And I mean, inches off their waist, inches off their thighs, better energy, better all around sleep, etc. Everything's better. And to your point, Colt, too, when you were talking about just these coaches trying to get these quick results. Well, number one, obviously we know that's not healthy. And I think that, the healthy approach is the approach that's like, that's optimal, obviously, but health equals looking good. Health equals what we want to see. Like, we don't want to see these quick dips in weight and cardio destroying us and running us into the ground and all that. We want to achieve long-term health. And that kind of goes actually into the comment we got on Facebook here too. So
yeah, I was just going to read that off. Thanks whoever commented this. I'm not sure what your name is. So unless your name is Facebook user, that's a really cool name. I think most people are just doing a diet in quotations and aren't making the true life changes. When they reach the goal they set, that they think they can revert back to what they were doing previously instead of focusing on how they feel when getting to that goal.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very good point.
People need to realize that, like, these are lifestyle changes they need to make. It's not like you just do this real quick. This is how yo-yo dieting starts. They think they can diet down and then go back to the way they were. But no, we need to realize that this is a whole entire perspective shift that you need to have on how you take care of your body. It's a perspective shift, and it's a lifestyle change if you want it to last.
Food should be viewed as fuel. It should be used to optimize your body, not to be abused in the form of entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's a good point, because we know, like, we're not a big fan of calories anymore. Like, I see calories now as just fuel. Like, you should be eating fuel, the right fuel. That's all that matters. Is when people say, like, it's all about calories. There's always an argument between calories and then energy and all that rubbish. But you just need to look at food as fuel, and that's it. And you just need to make sure that the right macronutrients you're eating. So, first of all, we need protein. We know that protein is an essential amino acid. We know that fats are also an essential amino acid. You need essential fatty acids. There's no essential carbohydrate, none whatsoever. And I think the other essential one is like water, stuff like that. But like, there's no essential carbohydrate at all. And when we look at the industry now, like, everybody tells you can have your carbohydrates. You can have your carbohydrates before workout. You can have your carbohydrates after workout.
That's what people want to hear.
Rice. You can have your oats. Yeah, and unfortunately, this is the industry we're in, because we as coaches, carnivore coaches, we're pretty much small fish in the big ponds. But I firmly believe that the more education we learn and the more people we take on, they will eventually see our side. Because I know, since I've learned an awful lot about carnivore, and say the last year, from speaking to like people like Colt and Jonathan and other people in the industry, Robert as well, I've seen that, this is the best way to live. And I've actually took that onto my clients, and I have seen their health improve by huge demands. Like, if it's making a massive change on my life, I'm always going to share it to other people, because I'm pretty sure we've all been in the same situation where we were all given all this rubbish about 6 meals a day. We all did it. I did it myself. I was on the standard 6 meals a day. But what that led to so much bleeding stress, because I'd be looking at me watch and like, okay, it's 2 hours later, I have to eat again. And when I was in college, I'd be like, oh, I have to have this. I bring my container with me. I have to stop halfway through my class and eat a meal. I'm going to the gym in an hour's time. It ruined my life.
Mm-hmm.
Ruined my life. And I remember as well, I took on a course. I took on a
same thing to me too.
I remember the last coach I took on was around 15, 20 years ago. And he was he was always stuck on the scales. He said, listen, make sure you look at your scales weight. And he had me doing an hour and a half in the gym and an hour cardio. And I remember he wanted me to lose 2 pounds a week. And I get very, very frustrated that I didn't lose those 2 pounds. And what I didn't realize was all the training that he was giving me was leading to overtraining, stress, water retention. And this is the reason why my scales weight was going up. And he would actually give out to me because I didn't lose those 2 pounds a week, even though I was lean. I was lean, really, really thin. But he drilled it into my head. This is how bad the industry was, that you must lose that 2 pounds a week. And you can see it now with people that it's like, okay, you need to lose your 2 pounds a week. And if you don't, what went wrong? So you're actually putting pressure on the clients. You're putting pressure on the client, which is just ridiculous. Absolutely. What gives you the right? What gives you the right to speak down to these people?
Right. And then you're stressing them out. They're holding water. Their scale weight's not changing, which is all you care about. And then they're burning muscle at the same time. So more water, less muscle. It's just counterproductive completely.
And they're gonna get rid of you. And all they're gonna do is say, I'm gonna put a lot of pressure on themselves. And they're gonna say, like, I couldn't do what he or she told me what to do. Mm-hmm. The reason why I do it was it wasn't sustainable. That's what it was. Right. It wasn't down to you. It was just down to bad coaching.
I'm surprised you didn't get injured.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Cool. All right, guys, let's check in. Nate, how's it? Oh, I want to tell one story real quick, actually. On the 6 meals a day taking over your life. So I used to. So this was when I was working a warehouse job. Actually, this is a long time ago when I first started bodybuilding, and I was doing 5 meals a day. My coach had me on 5, not 6 meals a day, but still, it's just, it was a lot. And every single meal had to have carbs, and it had to have either white rice or sweet potatoes and a whole bunch of vegetables, because you got to stay full, right? And so so we're sticking with low calorie foods, all this bro dieting stuff. Oh, someone from Facebook would like to say, you guys are awesome. Thanks,
Facebook.
Whoever that is, Facebook user, you are awesome too. And so I got to a point where I mean, like it was all consuming. And I think I was late one day or forgot something at work. And my boss was like, did you remember this, and that? And I was like, no. And he goes, yeah, well, you remembered all your damn bodybuilding meals, didn't you? And I was like, yeah. And like, sure enough, I had my 6-pack container with 5 little Tupperwares in it, man, 5 meals throughout the day, because I would hit the warehouse, and then I would have business meetings after that for our online business. And then I was doing stand-up comedy at the same time. And so I was like literally eating this stuff on the way to the comedy club, do my open mics, and then finish my last meal on the way home. 5 meals a day. Wow. Right now I'm doing 1 or 2 meals a day. I'm never hungry. I'm building muscle better. I'm feeling better. And I like all my food better. And I haven't had a vegetable in 5 or 6 months. I don't miss any of them. There's not a single
had a vegetable in 5 years now. And I feel
great. Cool. All right. So Nate, how is your prep going, brother? How are you feeling overall? I think we already went over that. I'm gonna run through your meal plan real quick. Are you doing eggs at all? You're on.
Yeah, I'm doing eggs. Yep.
100
eggs and beef.
Okay, you're weighing 189 this morning, right?
Yep. My lowest so far was 188.6, I think. But it was 189.2 this morning, I believe. Feeling great. A little bit of hunger setting in towards the end of the day when I'm bored at work or something like that. But I feel great. I mean, I still can barely tell I'm prepping, to be honest. So I don't have many complaints at all, honestly.
You're holding your mass extremely well.
I attribute it to training and diet.
Yeah, I have you at 185 grams of protein right now and 270 grams of fat. Mm-hmm. I think that on our next phase, when we need to titrate down lower, let's pull your protein down to 180. So not yet, but this is what we'll do like in a couple days, is bring your protein down to 180 and fat down to 265. Okay. And honestly, man, that's about as low as I want your protein to go. I think that from there we can just start pulling from fat, because then we're getting kind of close to where your lean body mass is at.
Yeah. And I think we have plenty of fat to play with anyway, as it is. So like my intake is very high still. So we have tons of runway.
And you're doing just ground beef and butter right now, because it's way easier to track than steak is. There's a lot more consistency there. So we're saving steak for when we start doing refeeds. We haven't started that yet. We'll probably start doing those not this Friday, but next Friday, or maybe the one after.
Mm-hmm. Hi, Facebook user. I think there must be something going on between StreamYard and Facebook where it's not showing people's names.
Yeah, we should look into that. Whoever it is that just said hi, thank you.
Hello.
Glad you're here. All right. And then for Mark, let's see, we have you on all mints and mints, by the way, I didn't know this until I started online coaching, but mince is European apparently for ground beef. So yeah, we're doing beef mince for 2 meals for you, Mark. Your macros are 140 and 160. So here again, your protein is about as low as I would like for it to go. So I think I'm okay with dropping it 5 more grams, and then from there, I think we should just pull from fats. We'll take it one day at a time. What do you think? How you feeling right now, Mark?
Yeah, I'm feeling grand, feeling good. The hunger is definitely an issue for me, though. That's the only thing. I'm getting there, though. I'm getting there. I think the more we get down to just eating like just meat going forward, I think I'll be okay.
Good stuff.
But I can definitely feel the hunger. I don't know what's wrong with me. I just think what I'm doing on a daily basis. I'm just doing so much. I'm on my feet all day. I'm working every day. So I'm the same with Nate, but I think Nate has more experience with me when it comes to bodybuilding. So
well, I mean, you
That's
might
the
be
only
onto a good point with your hunger there. If you're on your feet all day, you're moving around a lot and stuff, and your NEAT is very high, your non-exercise energy expenditure stuff. I mean, that could very well be why you're feeling so much hunger. Honestly, if you're very busy, that would be a huge factor.
Yeah, because I said this to Colt yesterday. I think I'm averaging about 25,000 steps a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, that is probably a huge factor. I mean, you're basically doing cardio.
Yeah, and that's why.
Mark,
Go ahead.
I got a question for you, and real quick, shout out to Pilar. Hey, thanks so much, Pilar, for joining. She says, "Hi, grading papers and listening to you, gentlemen." And then Lucky would like to say, "That was me from Facebook." Thanks a lot for joining, Lucky. God bless you guys. Glad that you're here. Welcome. So, Mark, how many opportunities throughout the day do you have to stop and legitimately catch your breath, like just mentally and
work-wise? Work-wise, it's usually around lunchtime. And the minute I wake up, I've got about 20 minutes to myself. So I need to be up by 4 a.m. to get my work started at 4:30 because I have a few clients in America, I have a few clients in Australia. So I need to be up a few hours before them to get their plan sorted. But then what I usually do is I get up in the morning, the minute I get up, I go for a walk straight away. Just get my mindset right. I don't even look at my phone. But when I look at my phone when I get back, I look at my phone now, and this is all for tomorrow. I'll tell you now, 1 second. I haven't even looked at this all day. So tomorrow now I have 22 emails. I've got.
I think those last 2 are for me. Sorry to add to the pile. But seriously, bro, we got to work on those poses.
Yeah, I think this highlights Oh, sorry, we got a delay. Go ahead, Mark.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I think this. Sorry. Okay. I think this highlights a very pertinent point for anybody like that listens to this or is listening now that wants to do a prep. Your stress tolerance on a prep, especially as you get into like the last 8 weeks or so, is severely diminished. And the things that you're doing in your daily life normally, your tolerance to those things definitely decreases, and you will notice it, whether that's hunger or just general stress or what it might be, whatever it might be. But you're going to have lower tolerance to stress in general. So that's something to keep in mind before you go into a prep, to have as much as you can controlled and in line before you do a prep. I think that's an important point to make.
Yeah, when Mark was telling me last week how his client base like basically doubled over the last week, I was like, uh-oh, like that's wow.
Congratulations.
We're really starting to work. We're really starting to get these poses down right now. I mean, this is not good for him to have this kind of workload. So I guess my best advice to you right now, Mark, is double or triple all of your rates, and so you have less clients, and start taking naps in the middle of the day.
Yeah, in the last 10 days, in the last 14 days, I took on 37 clients.
Wow.
Jeez.
Well, at a certain point in prep, it doesn't matter what you're doing. You just got to end up putting one foot in front of the other. And that's just what it becomes. And that's inevitable in prep, whether that's 2 weeks out or 4 weeks out. It's different for everybody. But at a certain point, you're putting one foot in front of the other and you're just doing your best. Yep.
At the end of the day, whether you're high carb, low carb, carnivore, not carnivore, the last few weeks are a grind. It's bodybuilding, and you just got to tough it out, and it's going to be stressful, and it's going to suck for a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the way I see it, I've come too far, and I've always said, like, once I invest in something, I'm going all in regardless. So it doesn't make any difference. I'm making a massive investment in myself. I mean, I'm going to a different country to compete. I took on a coach, even though I'm a coach myself. So I'm taking a massive investment in my life. But Colt knows my real reasons why I'm doing this. I'm not doing this to win any show. Never have. It's never been a massive thing for me. And this is so much bigger for me than winning the show. So I'll be happy. I like the way I see it is I've been to the dark side, and me being hungry for another like 7 or 8 weeks is nothing really, honest to God. And the way I see it is, as long as my family are provided for and I'm working hard for them and I'm giving them everything that they want, then I'm winning already. I couldn't care less.
Yeah, and this is a good time, in my opinion. When you're on a prep, it's a great time. I think Robert Sykes even mentioned this in his ketogenic bodybuilding book, but this is a great time to just have a period of time where you're challenging yourself to this degree, and it's a great time to have introspection, learn more about yourself, and grow too, for that matter. Prep, that is. So
absolutely.
Yeah, 100%.
Especially when you start intermittent fasting. Like a lot of people here, again, high carb, low carb, end up intermittent fasting towards the end of their prep to help with their satiety too. And it's a great way to break past a plateau if you've been stuck at a certain spot for a while. But fasting, that gives you a whole new perspective on life. I mean, even intermittent fasting, I've never done anything more than a day in a row, and so one meal a day for me is kind of the most extreme that I've ever done fasting. But if you're training hard, then it probably is the same as doing a 2 or 3 day fast without any exercise, because it speeds up the fasting process. But at the ends of those fasts, that's when I've had some of the deepest meditation experiences, some of the deepest prayer experiences, some of the deepest Bible studies, some of the best conversations with loved ones. There's something about towards the end of a prep when you've refined your priorities to the things that really matter, and anything that you don't have time for, it's BS. You don't have time for it. You can't do it. You have to look at your entire prep going in with the attitude of, okay, can I do this? If I can, great. If not, I mean, if you're working 2 jobs, if you're a student, if you have this going on and that going on, it just might not be the right time, and it might not be what you want to hear. But don't do it. You'll regret it. It'll backfire.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Unless you're gonna go all in and you understand the whole process, then don't bother, because you won't make it. You have to be mentally ready for it. And I think that's very, very important before you actually make that decision to say, right, okay, this is going to be probably 6 months to like 10 months out of your life. We all know it's a selfish sport. You will need to speak to your other half, because at the end of the day, it's your decision. And also, when you do get down to these 6 to 8 weeks, you need to understand that don't get into a situation where you're giving out to other people. It's your decision why you did this. And I always said that, even though I'm getting not really hungry at the moment, but I'm not going to take it out on anybody else. I'm not going to take it out on my work. I'm going to make sure I show up every day. I'm going to make sure I show up every day with a smile on my face. I'm still going to put my work in every single day. I'm not going to lack. I'm still going to get my training sessions in, because at the end of the day, as I said, you made that decision. So you can't blame anybody. You can't look for sympathy. You made that decision for yourself. So, you know what I mean? Grind it out, because it's something that you want to do.
Finish what you started.
And I'm not going to be happy until I'm at the stage, until I've done it, and that's it. So at the end of the day, and then once it's all done, we'll reverse diet out of it, and we'll see what happens in the future.
One more thing on your meal plan, Mark, those egg whites in there, how are those doing for you? I increased them to try to help with your satiety. Have you found that helpful?
Yeah, I think the volume of the food now is a little bit better. Because the food that we were on previous, even though it was quite nutrient dense, it was very, very small to look at. Whereas now I'm eating a bigger food, if that makes sense, more volume on the plate.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's the psychological side of it, right?
Yeah.
Cool. We are coming up on an hour. On the subject of contest prep, sleep is probably the most important thing. So, in out of respect for the fact that it is 9:30, I think for you, Mark, probably time for you to be going to bed. Totally respect and appreciate your time and for the insight on this, man. I mean, really, a lot of what you just told me is stuff that you've been telling me, and I just like hearing it again. You've helped me not just here again in the sense of optimizing my body in terms of how I eat and how I train and how I live every day, but the kind of businessman I am and the kind of person I am just within my own home. And so I'll forever be grateful for that. And I can't wait to see you in person, man. I cannot wait until this show. I'm so excited for this.
We're needed there.
We are. All right, everybody. Thanks so much for joining the live stream. Catch you guys in the next one.
See you guys.